the debut of the friendliest segment in all of sports. Now remember, this is not a power ranking. It's also not just a list of PER, right? Yeah. It's a rich tapestry of historical precedents, current performance, and overall it factor. That's important. Overall it factor. You know what I mean? You turn the TV on, wow, that guy's playing. Yeah. That's what I based mine on a little bit.
Okay.
It's time now for the premiere of King of the Hill.
Yeah, it's none of those things Wildes just said. It's who's been the best this year.
Current performance.
Who's been the best this year?
Well, yeah, for the most part.
I didn't know.
Why is Luka on there?
There is a minor, there is, for guys who have missed some of the year but are back, we look at who they are, for the totality of their career.
That's what I said.
Again, there's no it factor piece of it. Wildes is just saying that to defend whoever he's going to do. There is one thing I need to note. If you've been ruled out for the season, like Wemby or Embiid, you're not on the Hill. Okay. Sadly, it means the next iteration of the Hill, Kyrie will be off. But Kyrie, we had built the Hill, whatever, the Kyrie news came down, and also he deserves to be on it because he got hurt last night. It's a 45-person Hill, so we will go quick through the bottom few rows. 9th row, bottom of the Hill mainstay, Franz. Don't call me Mo Wagner. I think he's excellent. He's excellent.
Very good.
Paolo Banchero, his teammate, he kind of a rough offensive season for Orlando, but that's fine. Siakam, Scotty Barnes, Domantas Sabonis, Zach LaVine, another couple teammates. Zion quietly is playing well.
Yeah.
Like, you still worry about, he's only played 20-some games this year, but he's playing well. Wildes guy, Chet, and then Kawhi kind of, due to pedigree, I guess, would be one, because he hasn't played well at all.
He's had moments.
Yeah, he had a really big game the other night, but he is more of like, could he maybe put a playoff series together? All right, 8th row. Jimmy Butler, again, that is some pedigree. Ja Morant, at this point, Ja's a coin flip to play.
Well, that's the problem.
I mean, and so he's not quite as explosive when he does play. He doesn't play quite as often. James Harden's having a good year. I have to give him credit. He's been, I know there's a ton of, actually, the Norman Powell stands only existed for one day and one day only as a chance to take a shot at LeBron. But he's been the best player on that Clippers team, in my opinion. Evan Mobley, third best player on a team that is going to win 60-some games.
He could be the best player in the league in the future.
Oh, yeah, that's what, that's what the GM said. Or the players. Lamelo Ball, Rudy Gobert, tough to place, but still one of the 4 or 5 best defensive players in the league, deserves to be on there. Norman Powell, and then Tyler Hero. Okay, now we're to the real meat of it. Now we're to the top 30, in fact, better than top 30, top 28 players in the league. Row 7, please. Some awesome number 2 options, and a number 1 that probably should be a number 2. Jamal Murray. Amazing. Once Jamal Murray gets into shape, he's excellent.
He's good.
It'd be cool if one year he came into the year in shape, but on a max contract playing with the best player in the world, maybe too much to ask him. Jalen Williams. He is maybe the most important, the wrong word. The biggest X factor of this NBA postseason might be Jalen Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because if he's excellent, the Thunder should win the championship, or at least get to the championship.
West. Yep.
Tyrese Maxey, supposed to be the second best player on the Sixers, maybe in a perfect world, third best player, but obviously Paul George can be the second place, and Embiid's not there, now he's the best player. Bam, I think he's the best player on the Heat. They need him. They need someone better than him. Dame quietly has been pretty damn good. He's been available, scoring 25 a game. Tyrese Halliburton is the best player on his team.
He's on a run.
And he's on a run right now. I think that, again, if he's your best player, you probably have a ceiling somewhere with Trae Young. All right, now we're approaching the top 20. This is the top 21. 6th row, please. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. The team needs to be better. They're still excellent, but we can't have them in top 10 player currently conversations when their team is, even with the Dallas injuries, probably still going to miss the play-in.
Here we go.
Shout out, Wildes.
Come on.
Do it. You're on.
Your fun.
I'm the
It's your
magician
guy.
now. I kind of gave up on the
librarian.
I kind of gave up on the librarian thing.
All right. Well, then
I'm still a
whatever.
Shingun.
I don't know that you're a Shingun guy. He's too good now.
Yeah, he just popped off.
You like the guys.
I like his elementary school teacher. I got him, but now he's like the president.
Wildes is the first ever hipster sports fan.
What?
He's the guy
I still
who's
like
like, well, I used to like that band when they were playing in, you know what I mean, in
But
bars,
now everyone
but now
knows
they're playing in arenas. You don't like it,
No,
man.
I'm still a Shingun guy.
Okay.
Yesterday, why didn't Shingun
All right, there's
play the
enough
other day?
Shingun talk. Never mind. I shouldn't have done it. Darius Garland, who's been excellent. Jaylen Brown, who hasn't been quite as, to be totally honest, quite as good this year as he was last year, but they're the defending champs. He's the second best player. He's still been very good. And De'Aaron Fox, who I'm really, one of the sad parts about Wemby getting hurt is we didn't get to see what Fox was going to look like alongside him. Hopefully we see that at the beginning of next year. Now that you're top 15, row 5. Reveal it, please. Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns. I still think Jalen's the best player on that team, but Karl's having the best season. Jaren Jackson Jr. has been outstanding. He's an all-NBA guy. He's been the Grizzlies' best player by far. He's a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Anthony Davis is a tough one because he's missed so much time. He was playing so well when he was healthy. I feel like he deserves to be where he is, and he's come back. And then, of course, the really sad news about Kyrie, who was playing great all year, carrying the heavy workload, find out today he tore his ACL. All right, your top 10. I don't think there's going to be a lot of argument about this top 10. Donovan Mitchell, the best player on maybe the best team in the league. Certainly going to be in the conversation for the best record, or close to the best record. Anthony Edwards, whose team is disappointing, but you don't really put that on him. Cade Cunningham, former number 1 pick. Nobody talks about, could he be the face of the league? I don't know. He's number 1 pick. He's got the Pistons firmly in the playoffs, not going to be a play-in team. And then Steph. Steph has played much better since Jimmy's gotten there. Jimmy hasn't been great. Steph, now that there's someone else to pay attention to, has been much better. He's still a top 10 guy even at 37 years old. Or is he 30? Yeah, I think he's about to be 37 years old. Top 6. Again, remember, it's not left to right, guys. LeBron, Tatum, and Luka. LeBron, fresh off Western Conference Player of the Month, his 41st Player of the Month award, and amazing. Turns out that if LeBron doesn't have to do everything on offense, he still can be a legitimately very good defender and part of a very good defense. Jason Tatum, just quietly going about his first-team All-NBA business as he has the last few years. And listen, Luka has not, since he's been a Laker, played like a top 6 player in the league. But he has his whole career, and we know who he is, and now he looks healthy. And that gets us to our top 2. Maybe there's some suspense here. I think it's Shai and Giannis. Shai's going to be the league MVP. But I don't think he's the best player in the league, even if he's having the best season. Giannis is shooting 60% from the field this year. And, you know, it's him and Dame and then not a lot else right now, especially with Portis injured in Milwaukee. And then atop the hill, the best player in the league. And right now, I think it's probably the least debatable it's been because Embiid, who had real, you know, last year even had a real conversation before he got hurt, he's out. No one else has really surged other than Shai. I don't really think anyone actually thinks Shai is a better player than Jokic, even if Shai's having the better season. It's Nikola Jokic. So, Brew, there's King of the Hill.
Nice list, especially at the top. I like it. I agree Jokic is the best player in the world and maybe having, certainly statistically, his best season. And I agree that I think Shai is going to win the MVP. But there's a fiber of my being, Wildes, that thinks it's left to right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm trying to take his word for it.
Part
of me thinks that
I think it's left to right. So the only thing is the third tier, I'm going to move Luka. I'm going to have Luka, Tatum, LeBron. I'm fine with LeBron being on that tier.
You have Luka better than Tatum?
Yeah. As a player, I just think he's better than Tatum. But I agree he hasn't necessarily been better this year, especially with the injury and stuff. But I think he's better. See, I'm looking at it as who's better, and that's why the guy I'm focusing on is Jimmy Buckets.
Oh.
Now, I know, obviously, the trouble in Miami and all that. It's only been 9 games of a honeymoon in Golden State. But Jimmy Butler, when he is plugged in, man, dudes don't want to see him because he gives it all. He plays hard. When you have a guy that is going to go at you every night on both sides of the floor, guys don't like dealing with that. And that's what Jimmy Butler is. So what I'm doing, Nick, I obviously, like you said, Kyrie will be off next week. I'm putting KD in Kyrie's spot, okay? And then I'm moving Jimmy Butler up into not only one spot, but a second row where Booker is and Şengün and all those guys. I'm putting Jimmy Butler up there because, and I know it's not playoffs yet, and we're going to do this every week, but playoff Jimmy is warming up.
I got to see him play great then, though.
But he's having, like, he's not just going to be numbers. Like, you look at the impact I think he's having with the Warriors. The getting to the foul line, which that's, as a team, they generally don't do. That's huge for them. The mid-range stuff, the defense.
So, listen, nobody has been a bigger Jimmy Butler fan on this show than me, as far as believing in the Heat and all of it. Playoff Jimmy wasn't around last year. I do think that it is currently fair to at least have a question of how much of his performance with Miami was him quitting on the team, and how much of it was that even when he's engaged, he doesn't have that extra gear. And I think that until we see him have a stretch of excellent basketball, I don't think it's fair to elevate him.
Remember when he was engaged in Miami, he was shooting like 50% from the floor. Like his numbers were pretty good. I know he wasn't scoring as much, but some of that was them going more to hero and Bam and things like that. But I think when he's engaged, he's still going to play
One
great.
last point for guys on row 8 or above, so Jimmy's row or above. The only guys, so he's averaging less than 17 points a game. The only guys averaging less than 20 points per game are Mobley and Gobert, who are both extraordinary defenders. So, and I know Jimmy is too, but big man defenders. Bam, who falls in that category as well. Halliburton, who's a point guard, and Şengün, who's kind of a point center.
I would take Jimmy over Garland.
Oh.
I would take him over Garland. And I think Mobley is probably their second best player to Donovan.
Okay, well, that's it. That I might, you might be able to convince me on, that Mobley's better than Garland. I would not. I would take historically Jimmy over Garland, obviously. I don't know that Jimmy is still that guy.
If Jimmy was in Cleveland, and I like Garland, I'm not trying to get them to make a move, but if you replace Jimmy with Garland, or, Jimmy was there instead of Garland.
I agree if you're replacing it with Jimmy from a couple years ago, but I'm not sure. I'll be very interested to see if playoff Jimmy from a couple years ago is still there, because I don't know that he is. Not necessarily.
He's playoff Jimmy.
Yeah, but guys, when they hit their mid-30s and have a terrible year and then a mediocre year, sometimes that's just who they like, that they don't have that extra gear anymore.
Okay.
This year, he lost his love for the game.
I don't think
his joy. They stripped him of his joy.
All right, so I don't think either of you guys are going to like my addition. But as you know, oftentimes I'm a...
Kendrick Bourne.
I will add Kendrick Bourne if we're doing a football one. Oftentimes I'm a vehicle for the audience. So I just want to move LaMelo quite high up. And Dusty, I even removed our temporary ban on puns. And Dusty, who said, LaMelo is too LaMelo. I said, do you mean mellow? Like he's too chill? He's like, no, it's just L-O-W. I said, oh, that's fine, Dust. Throw it on the bar. All-star voting. Is it a true stat? No, but not nothing. And the fact that all NBA fans said, you know who we want to see in the All-Star game? This guy by a large margin over Donovan, who's out here cooking, was in first place Cavs. Then you're saying, well, how about the raw numbers? Are they there? 26, 5, and 7 this season. Only 3 guys are doing it. It's LaMelo, Joker, and Luka. Both those guys are at the top of the mountain. What?
26, 5, and 7 is not a...
That's a common thing throughout the history of the NBA.
25, 5, and 5.
25, 5, and 7.
26?
Yes,
it's
not even. Josh, why'd you pick 7?
Because he did. Because what he did was
historical precedent.
No, he did what LaMelo was averaging.
He said Oscar Robertson did it. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it. Finally, I know you're big on winning basketball games.
Yeah.
It's not
kind of, sort of.
Here's the thing. When he's playing, he can step his game up a little bit. Are they still under 500 when you're playing good teams? Yes, but he balls out. 32 points. Against the rest of the NBA, 9-20, having 24 points. What do you got an issue with this one?
So hold on.
He plays well.
Could
he
that
plays
be
even
'cause
better.
teams
No,
take them
Hold on a
Josh,
second.
Josh
Teams
said no.
take them
I
away.
didn't even realize
and Giannis
this.
played.
He's also only played 38 games.
That's right, because he's not on. When
The
you do,
team's played 60.
well, he got hurt. What do you want him to do?
He's not be higher, buddy. If you are
Luka got hurt. Luka's right up there.
okay,
How many games has Luka played this year?
Luka has played 30.
Okay, so
Yes, I understand,
Who's that
Wildes,
about?
but when Luka played, his team won. This guy, when
they
he played,
did. They won so much and traded him. I'm just saying. They loved him so much. He's such a winner. They say, you know what? We're going to make the worst trade in the history of the NBA. That's how much we love you. They're not trading LaMelo.
Got a
That
point.
much.
You got a point.
No, he doesn't.
Yes,
Brew.
he just
Wait,
shouldn't be down at the bottom with James Harden.
But Harden's having.
What do you mean?
So is LaMelo. I'm saying LaMelo's
So
playing better than
where
Harden.
should LaMelo be?
Yeah.
Higher.
No, give me name. Who is he better than that he's below? Who? Tell me.
I like Maxey.
So I do too.
No,
so
you're
tell
saying
me.
ahead of Maxey.
No, he's not.
I'm a Maxey guy.
Right. So tell me who.
I like Devin Booker, too.
Of course.
De'Aaron Fox just got to the Spurs.
But he played for the Kings.
They got traded.
What about
I don't want to dim anyone else's candle.
Trey.
No, I like Trey.
I'm not.
See,
putting
this
it
is
in.
what I think. Is he
Trey's
better than
got a
Jalen
nice
Brown?
playoff.
Probably better than Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic only played 30 games, and they're on the same graphic. Just add him somewhere. Like
He's on the graphic.
in the bottom.
He's next to Evan Mobley, James Harden, and John Morant, who you used to love.
Mobley's too low too. I'm just saying the
everybody
guy's
can't
doing
be too low.
26, 5, and 7. There's only 3 guys, and everyone loves him. And eye test too.
The eye
test is
The
there.
eye test is
The
incredible.
eye test is fantastic.
It's the eye test isn't.
The eye, you don't think the eye test
If
is
it's an
there for
and one
LaMelo?
street ball
Thank you, bro.
mixtape, then the eye test is great. But making winning decisions.
How'd he play in the All-Star game that he got all those votes for? How'd he do?
Just move him up.
Why did he not make the All-Star team?
Because people are against him.
Coaches-
Who are the people?
coaches
Because he has
wanna
too
win.
many tattoos.
No.
Old
want
school
W.
people. Yeah, that's what it is. And he swears in his interviews.
You know what?
His brother has a hit song.
You know what?
That's why.
That has always been a thing I've heard about the NBA All-Star game.
Yeah, it's true.
There's a tattoo
It goes back to Allen
prohibition.
Iverson. Look, dude, I don't like it. You know, keep him out. Why? Because he's too awesome. That's what it means. He's too awesome. It's true.
Fine.
Too
You know what?
awesome.
At
He
the
gets
very
penalized.
least-
taping
He
for
gets
LaMelo.
penalized for being awesome.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.